Hello and welcome. My name's Andy Crook and I'm your host for this training topic all about, is your garage attracting the right customers? My mission is to help garage owners become more successful in business. I deliver a training topic every week on one of the 5 pillars of business. This week, we're in the marketing pillar and we're talking about attracting the right customers. Every garage owner knows that some customers brighten your day while others drain the life right out of you. What if I told you you could transform your business by focusing on the customers who truly matter? The ABCD custom classification system helps you categorize customers from advocates to drainers. Understanding how different customer types interact and impact your business can change how you perceive, prioritize, provide for your existing and any new customers. Did you know that 80% of your income probably comes from just 20% of your customers? By implementing this customer classification system, you can make more informed decisions about whom to prioritize and who might be holding your business. So without further ado, let's get into the ABCD customer classification system. Came about a few years ago when I was putting together a training course called the Business Diagnostics. And it's become widely adopted because it just feels that way. It's been implemented by a number of garages and I've had great feedback. I've even had feedback from somebody who introduced this to their barber who now uses it. So it works across different sectors. Unless you think about customer types, you probably only think they fall into 2 categories. I've subdivided those categories into 4. We'll start with the D types, what I call drainers. And then there are C types, what I call complainers. And they are B types, which are basic. And there are A types, which are advocates. A and B types, quite similar. And your C and D types can be quite similar. It's important to note that before we start thinking about customer classification, we should establish very early on that this is a very dynamic environment. A customer can appear anywhere on the matrix at any time. An A type can become a D type and a D type can become an A type in the blink of an eye. It is extremely dynamic and you have to keep your eye on the ball. With your D types, I identify 2 subcategories within the D types. Your drainers come in 2 formats. There's something called unicorns and demanders. We'll deal with the unicorns first. Unicorns, on first glance, appear to be the perfect customer. They offer everything, but soon drain the life out of you. Now, you'll understand what I mean by these types of customers. So these can be your trade customers. If you do trade MOTs, you tend to do them for a reduced price than you do for your normal customers, which is bonkers when you think about it, isn't it? Because will you get any of the additional work from them? Probably not. So why do they get your service at a reduced cost? They're probably competing for the work that you're competing for when a car fails its MOT. It's great if you're not at capacity with your MOTs and you can use your trade customers to infill any gaps, or at times when you can do MOTs, but customers generally don't want them. That's a great use of them. Normally, these trade customers are not all it appears to be. Closely related to our trade customers are business to business and fleet customers, whereby you might do a load of vehicles for a particular business customer, but they want it done at a different price, but they also want it done now. And the vehicles just turn up whenever they want without being booked in because you're the garage that fixes it. They treat you like their own personal garage. If you manage that well, like I say, this is a dynamic environment and they can appear anywhere else on the matrix. But these unicorn customers who promise a load of work also come with a load of baggage, in my experience. And that brings me to our final unicorn customer, the one that I possibly am most suspicious of in the unicorn category, and that is garage referral schemes. You know, the ones that promise you loads and loads of work, but you're competing against other garages, driving the price down, you know, the sketch. They're your unicorn D types. and they turn into drainers very quickly. Now, the other type of drainer are what I call demanders. You'll recognize these customers straight away. Can you do it for cash? Have you got a courtesy car? The very first time they use your services, they want all of the maximum benefits. Any chance you can do it sooner? Is there any way I can jump the queue? Will you fit this for me? I'll bring my own parts. Or someone who's extremely price sensitive, that's driving the price down all the time. They always are the most demanding customers. Yeah, you chip a bit off here, they chip a bit off there. Next thing you know, they're phoning, is it ready yet? You know the sketch. You know what these people are. They're what I call demanders. So we got two types of D type. You've got unicorns and demanders. The next category, closely related to our D types, are the complainers. Nothing you do appears to be good enough. There's always something quite right. They're reasonably price sensitive and always looking to reduce costs. Now, you might get this sort of customer. They might offer you, like, you want to fit genuine parts and they want to fit a motor factor part because it's cheap. And you get into a bit of a war around them. They think you're trying to rip them off because you're fitting the part with a 2-year warranty. They want to fit the much cheaper part with a 1-year warranty. But when it goes wrong at 18 months, they're blaming you. You can see what I mean. They're not bad customers. They're just complaining. And these are the ones that are always phoning you or tend to come back to the garage with the cincher. Since you fixed my puncher, my interior light isn't working, sort of thing. Now, they're your C-type customers. Now, your B-type sounds initially like the perfect customer. Yeah. They turn up on time. They don't continuously bother you. When you ring them and tell them the car's ready, they collect it promptly and they pay the bill without questioning it. Like I said, that sounds like the perfect customer. But that's all they do. And that's what makes them a basic. Now, you probably have quite a few of these basic customers. Probably more than you realize, because they're the ones that you forget. Because the interaction went smoothly. There's nothing that makes them stand out to you. Then the final type, your A types, what I call advocates, should be your favorite type of customer. They bring you gifts, biscuit, wine, beer, whatever it is that they do. They're always telling their friends what amazing job you do. And they're probably the ones that gave you a 5-star review. These are the people who tell everyone they meet about you. They're your advocates in our heads. Once we understand what type of customer fits into which bracket, we now know what we're looking for. Why is this important to classify them? And that is I suppose, the most important bit of this training topic. It isn't that there are different customer types and there are more than 2 customer types. And we've sort of gone into 4 customer types and sub customer types within those for the kind of drainers. It's what you can do with them or what they do for your business. And this is where we're going to look at the 80-20 rule. And what you probably don't realize is 80% of your customer comes from 20% of your customers, your A types. And the question I'm going to ask you is, how do you look after them? Are you looking? Which means then that probably 20% of your problems come from, or 80% of your problems come from 20% of your customers, which are your D types, which means there are 60% of your customers left, which are probably the B and C types. Now, changing the percentage of B, C, and D types can transform your garage. But before you can do this, you need to change your mindset to one of an abundance mentality. Now, we haven't got time to go into what an abundance mentality is. So if you haven't already, or if you want a reminder, there is a training topic on abundance mentality. Go and check it out. It's well worth listening to again, because what I'm going to ask you to do is ditch your D-type customers. Then I'm going to ask you to convert your C types, boost your B types, and attend to your A types. That is what we need to do once we identify our customers. So how do we classify them? So the first way we classify our customers is based on impact, the impact they have on your business. And the biggest impact they have is income generated. And what we can do here is we can look at our historic data And this is a useful exercise to help you identify who's who. And the first thing you want to do, based on impact, is find out who spent the most with you over the last 12 months, the last 3 years, and the last 5 years. Now, that will identify many, many of your A-type customers. It isn't going to identify only A-type customers, but it'll identify many of them. The next thing, if you have a method for identifying referrals and who referred who, do the same for your referrals over the same period. And the customers that spent the most with you and referred the most customers are your advocates, your A-type customers. And if you don't have a method of tracking who referred who, there's something for you to look into. And then you want to classify them on their interactions with the garage, how they interact with you. And that's based on your customer behavior. And then label customers A, B, C, or D based on their latest interactions. Remember, this isn't historic data. This is current data because it's a dynamic environment and customers can reappear anywhere on Matrix at any time. So analyze the impact customers are having on your business. Find out what percentages of your customers are D types, and then what percentage of your resources are they draining. Then find out what percentage are C types and find out why they're complaining. Because this is a chance to improve your business because they might be complaining for legitimate reasons. Then find out what percentage are B type, then find out what percentage are A types. Because this customer data set is the dynamite you need to explode your business growth. All marketing efforts should be based around this information. What do I mean by that? Well, to begin with, your A types should be your avatar. You should send all of your marketing messages to your best type of customer because you want to attract the right type of customer, any type of customer. So let's think about the D types first, because start at the bottom and work our ways up. So we're going to ditch the D types. Now, you're not going to be able to do this immediately, but you're going to probably find when you do this exercise, when you look at what percentage of your customers are D types and what percentage of your resources are they draining, you're going to probably find out, true to the 80-20 rule, that 80% of your problems come from just 20% customers. And getting rid of the D types will allow you to spend more of your precious resources, time, energy, and money on your better customers. D types simply suck the life out of you. So much so you don't have the resources to look after your better customers. Attending to your D types is a loop of doom. You need to get rid of them as soon as possible. Convert the C types. Process-driven delight, what I call the peak and end rule. There's a training topic on this, and converting C types probably comes down to your processes. And is the problem your systems and processes? And they just acting as secret customers, highlighting what needs to be improved? You would spend a fortune getting customers to visit your garage and give you feedback on what could be improved. But the C types are doing it all the time. The trick here is to stop giving them something to complain about, and they will simply become B or A type customers immediately. It's a dynamic environment, and you can move your C types into B types. Those that you can't make happy are just D types in disguise, and you need to ditch them. But take care to look at why they're complaining. Is it your fault? Be honest with yourself. No garage is perfect, and therefore some things slip through the cracks. The C types could be highlighting gaps in your processes. Remember, process-driven delight, the peak and end rule, great training topic. If you haven't already heard it or seen it, give it a look. Now you're going to boost your B types into A types by asking for reviews. And this is based on the book Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. And it's the principle, one of the 6 principles of influence. And the principle we're looking at is consistency. Because if you ask a B-type customer for a 5-star review, they will more than likely refer you. Once they have given a review, they are more likely to become repeat customers. And once they do, ask for a referral. Now, what do I mean by that? How does consistency have any effect? Well, we haven't got time to go through it all. So there's a training topic called influence. Look it up, and you will see that I talk about um, the six principles of influence. And you think, that doesn't work. We're not that easily influenced. Check out the training topic. I promise you we are. The idea here with consistency is if they're just a basic customer and they don't actually do anything else, they just turn up and go and they're just a basic customer, you have the opportunity to turn them into an A type, to boost your B types into A types simply by asking them to give you a review. Once they give you a review, they, in their subconscious, they have said to the world that they rate you. And therefore, when it's time to have another job done on their car, they're more likely to use you as a repeat customer, simply because they give you a review. Sounds a bit far-fetched, but the science is proven. If they do use you again, if you notice a B type coming back, then ask them for referrals, because they've given you a review, they've returned as a returning customer. The chances of them now referring you are higher than they are if they just let them get on their way. Like I say, if you don't believe me, check out either the book or the training topic on influence. Which leaves us finally with our A types, attending to our A types. The first thing we need to do when we attend to our A types is, how do you find more of these A type customers? You want to sell directly to them. Like I say, knowing what your A types look like, the customer classification, they're generally a type of person, a type of customer, a type of vehicle driver. Yeah. Make sure your marketing efforts are aimed at them. Sell directly to your A types, because birds of a feather flock together. Ask for referrals from them. Reward both the new customer and the referrer. Have a method of finding out who referred who and when. Now, the key thing here to do is look at what you can give either or both of the parties, the referrer and the referral. You can give them both a bottle of wine, vouchers, a leatherback keyring, or something really special. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it's lower than the cost to acquire a normal customer and less than the lifetime value of a customer. You could really go all out if you wanted to. Not suggesting you do, but think about it. These people are referring people to your business all the time, yet they are probably the customer you spend the least time with. And that's just the paradox of how business works. We spend all our time on the D types and the C types. They take up all of our time and resources. Therefore, the B types just slip through the business. We don't ask them for reviews. We don't know if they've been a repeat customer, and we never once ask them for a referral. Because if you think about it, a B type that has given you a 5-star review, come back for more, and then refer the customer, is now an A type. And how do we look after our A types? They're the ones looking after you. Remember I said right at the beginning, they're normally, how you identify them, by their behavior, their current behavior. They're the ones that turn up with presents. It's not unusual for our A type customers in my business to turn up with a bone for the dog, stuff like that. But what do you give them? Do you have time to give them? Do you recognize them as A type customers? Do you have a method of finding out who referred customers? These are all things to think about when you think about customer classification. So what's this week's atomic action? If you don't already do so, start classifying your customers. Then once you know who's who, ditch your D types, convert your C types, boost your B types. Remember, always attend to your A types. If this has been helpful, then I've done my job. Remember, if you should, you must. What's stopping you is starting. Thanks for listening. See you next time.